Hello and welcome to January's coffee chat, the first one in 2024, and I believe this episode, as every episode at the beginning of the year, is a bit special. So I'm not only going to tell you about what's going on at Knitterista this month, but also my plans for the whole year. Just a big picture, don't worry, we're not going to go into details, but we are going to go into details for this month, of course, like always. Alright, I hope you also have your coffee and nice VIP to, knit a bit on the side while you're listening to me. And I'm excited to chat with you. In case you don't know me, I'm Marin, I'm the creative behind Knitterista. I design knitting patterns for accessories. My favorite items are actually bandana cows, and we're going to talk about those a bit more today. And I teach modern makers about photography. Alright, so when I think, sorry, there's so much stuff going on here. Never mind. Try to ignore it a bit better. Alright, so when I think about the year, I try to make plans for a year. I try to think about knitting season, and let's see if we have the same idea about those. So right now we have the first big bunch, and always at the beginning of the year there's a special energy going on. Not only for knitting, for other things too. So usually we have some affirmations, some ideas, how we would like to improve our life, how we would like to change this year compared to the last year, tackle some things and learn new things especially. So maybe you kind of came here because you thought you would like to start to knit. Might be. Or you decided this is the year where you're finally going to learn how to knit cables or lace or, I don't know, brioche. Whatever higher knitting techniques are out there. So this is kind of the first month, let's say, while we transition from winter to spring. So at the end of spring, when summer is coming, I know there are knitters who still like to knit in the summer, but even if you are knitting in the summer, it's a lot more, laid down. We don't have this high energy of making things. It's more like on the side. Probably like to knit something more relaxing. If you have kids like I have, those are at home quite a lot over the summer, and it doesn't work as well to find knitting time as you might find it during the other months of the year when everything is kind of daily. You have the daily routines. So we have winter to spring as a first big chunk, then comes summer, which feels a bit like a break, or at least very different. And of course in August it starts slowly to amp up to the big season, right? So autumn is always like an explosion in the knitting community. I kind of love this high energy when everybody is getting ready for the cold months, wetter weather, things like that, and everybody's eager to click with the needles again. It feels like, I don't know, like finally we are coming together again. It's awesome. So this is a very special time. I think it's a time where the most knit-alongs also run, and make-alongs in general, of course, but also those mystery knit-alongs. Kind of very different beast, different story for sure. And the year ends a bit different actually with the holiday season. So this is probably going to start at the beginning of November with Cyber Month, and then you have in the US Thanksgiving, and then of course Black Friday. I think it's not only more in the US, with Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Cyber Week is kind of crazy sales week. And knitters usually prepare all their holiday gift knits if you are a gift knitter. And yeah, generally we prepare in our lives for Christmas, Hanukkah, and I'm not sure about Hanukkah, to be honest. Grew up in the Christian community, so, but it's similar dates, right? Anyway, and then after those holidays, of course, the New Year's Eve is going to come and we're going to start again, so it's full circle. So what I would like to do is use this first month at Knitterista to teach you about bandana counts. As I already said, it's my favorite item and there are several reasons for it. First of all, it's a good one to learn because it's quite a small one. You don't need a lot of time to knit this, which is good because it gives you quick satisfaction. Still, we have this triangle at the bottom and the part around the neck that has usually a cylindrical shape because it's still a cowl, you know, you want to get this over your head. And that gives you a lot of opportunities for shaping and to learn different techniques. And of course, you can put in any stitch pattern you want into it and learn it then not only flat but also in the round. I think that's awesome, honestly. I also love wearing those. It's very easy to style, just put it over your head like every other cowl, but it looks a bit more elegant. It has a tendency to show up like a triangular shawl, makes you look more stylish, and that without any effort. Kind of my favorite things to wear, right? Okay, so as we are already here, this is going to be the first one I will release in January. We are talking about free tutorials here, and you are going to be able to download a cheat sheet to learn how to do it and have it kind of step by step lying next to you while you are watching my videos. But I will also make video tutorials, so we are going to do it together. And this one is constructed from the bottom up, so it's absolutely amazing for beginners and super easy even to learn to knit. We are only going to cast on a couple of stitches and then shape the first triangle, but it's really garter stitch flat, so only knits, and at every end of the row you're going to work a decrease to make this one bigger. When you have actually enough to wrap it around your head, you're going to join in the round, and then the last part is worked in the round, so you're going to knit knits and purl rounds and bind off at the end when it's high enough to cover your neck and keep you warm. That is the first construction. There are others, and if you want to have a sneak peek for the other months I've already kind of planned out, you can have a look at my website. I made a dedicated website only for this bandana cowl tutorials, and I'm going to link it to you in the show notes. So every month, during those months where I'm going to give you the freebies, I will also release, and part of those are re-releases also, for knitting patterns, because this is in my mind more like a shape study. And if you see it from a product designer side, or the fashion designers have this drapings, architects have white models, so it's really in this kind of way to explore new things, new creations. I did knit this in white wool for several reasons, but it's mostly to honor how creatives work. And I also work with in garter stitch because I feel like it's one of the really easiest and basic stitches to do. I wanted to put out texture, all the lovely design details, and wanted to make it super easy for you to learn with me the construction. That's also why it's chunky yarn, so it's quick knits. However, that is not how I usually approach full knitting pattern design. Full knitting pattern design has a lot more going on. I'm going to show you the one that's based on this construction. You might already know it because I did this a while ago. So this is the Eve and Adam bandana cowl. You can see that we have border stitches, a center stitch, and on the back side you see there is an even more lovely construction how to build up this back. We are also not only joining in the round here, but we are going to add some stitches, so it's going to fit a bit different. And this is written for fingering, sport and DK yarn. We need to work a bit different. Even garter stitch, the first one is this one. It's the Adam and Eve bandana cowl, kind of like the twin pattern. This is knit and DK, so it does stand up a bit better. Also sorry, also the garter stitch is a bit more squishy, so that also gives construction. But nevertheless, this upper part is worked a bit concave to give you more stability around your neck. So those two will be re-released, and in addition to it, I'm going to release the Paradise head. It has already been in test knitting last year, and you might have seen it on one of my earlier coffee chats. And as you can see, this one works with the same details as the bandana cowls I just showed you. And it does have kind of two sides. If you fold up the brim, you get the other texture, but this is a double head. And that's why it works for both patterns really well as a companion. So that one will be new, and I want to try to always give you patterns that are good for beginners, adventurous beginners, you know, call it how you ever want it. I want those that are easier to knit, have the stitch patterns we all know, knits and purls, and a little bit of extra for the lovely details, but they don't stress you out. So even if you're not a beginner knitter anymore, you are more on the intermediate side, I know we all like patterns where we can just relax with, and those are one line I want to keep going with. However, I also want to help those of you who would like to learn more. And that's why I designed a bunch of patterns that have more squishy textures and help you actually to get yourself to a point where you're ready for brioche knitting. I know this is some of the things we are all maybe a bit afraid of. Honeycomb brioche is this stitch pattern called. It's more, in my mind, a hybrid of garter stitch and fisherman's rib. So not really like brioche, but it will bring you there. Okay, so this collection is called the Deep Dive Collection. Again, you might have seen this before. I showed on earlier coffee chats while I've been working on it. It took me quite a while to do it, and it's now in test knitting, so it will definitely be released in January. I have a beanie for you, a beret. Never mind, there's still some stitch markers in it for me to remember what I did here too. And this is a bandana cowl. So this one is a lot bigger than the others you saw. It's also all knit and worsted weight because, man, it's really cold here in Germany, honestly. I need to take a sip. And I'm looking forward to release this pattern so I can finally wear them. Okay, so this is going to come in January. Let me have a look at my list, what else I wanted to tell you about. Alright, yes, so just some things to amp this up, give you a quick, you know, some quick ideas about what's going on else in at Knitterista is in February. I will teach at a summit of a friend of mine. I'm really excited about this, about photography. I'm going to invite all of you, of course. Nevertheless, if you don't want to miss your seat, get on my Friday letters. That's my weekly newsletter I write on Fridays. That's why I call Friday letters. And I'm going to give you thumbs up for the summit. It's definitely going to be in February. I'm going to prepping for it now, and I would love to teach you photography there as much as I already did last year on other platforms. So I'm going to keep going on with this topic. I have other plans for it. I'm not sure how much I want to release about it because, you know, my plans not always work out. Sometimes I mostly have too big ideas. However, I also want to open up a Facebook group during this first chunk of the year, and the last thing during this time before I actually take a summer break is going to be my birthday in May, with a birthday sale and probably a special pattern. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to take a big summer break because my kid will be at home. He will go to school after it. I feel like it's the last, you know, this last small kid. He's not small anymore, but kiddo summer, and he deserves a bit of extra attention. I also need to prep for autumn. So, and I'm super excited to have our community together in autumn, because I plan to host a click and knit along, and you might have heard me before talking about this on my Friday letters if you're on that list. I feel like that is a great opportunity, maybe the best, to learn how to shoot your makes, because I don't know about you, but I feel like learning creative skills always need a creative project. Without that, you're just listening to me blah 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 blah, teaching you the stuff, but you need to make it to get it done, to really get it in. So it's the same with knitting. You only learn to knit if you actually knit it. You won't learn it just by watching a video on YouTube. And the same goes for photography. You need to take photos of your makes to learn how to take photos of your makes. So I will give you tutorials, I will give you homework, task prompts during the knit along, and I will also create an amazing collection for it. It's already in the making, but I don't want to spoil everything here, so that's definitely a spoiler alert. But yeah, you can see me lift up, right? I'm really super excited, and that is where I want to bring Knitterista. I want to make a bi-yearly, I think is a word, like every autumn and every winter spring I want to host a knit and click along for you with a dedicated collection to learn new knitting skills, but also to learn photography skills. I hope this excites you. Definitely excites me a lot, and I hope we are going to come together there. All right, so the last thing, and that actually has to do with the collection I'm going to create for this knit and click along, is I want to build up, until I need to test knit that collection, an excellent test knit team. So test knitting is, quite honestly, for all designers stressful, and we need our test knitters to do a lot. And it's kind of, you know, on the one hand you want to have really good test knitters and you ask them a lot to do, of course. At the same side, test knitters need to actually do it, and I could use some that are a bit more reliable, and I also want to give those who are really reliable and do all the stuff more back than a free pattern, or maybe let it even be more patterns than one, but you know, it's a bit lousy, it's not that much. What I would like to do is I have 5 designs I need to test knit. I want to have 5 test knitters for every design. That makes 25 test knitters for that collection alone. And I want to give every test knitter one excellent skein of yarn. So here in Europe, that's about 35 bucks. We're talking about the really nice one, you know, the hand-dyed artisan yarn that really lights you up, because I feel like if you do excellent work, you deserve an excellent bonus. And yeah, what is in the US, probably something like that too, like $30 or so. So that's what I would like to do, and I need your help with this because I really can't afford it. It ends up to quite a big sum. It's I did do the math. I was like, ooh, I can't do that. I don't have enough money for it. So I do have a Ko-fi, what is it? A Ko-fi account where you can donate every Ko-fi or coffee. I thought that would be nice for Knitterista actually. Every coffee is about 5 euros, and I would really love to ask you to help me bring this sum together until summer, when I need to test knit that collection. Thank you very much. I'm going to put this also in the show notes, so no worries, you're going to find it. Thank you very much. Have a nice time until we see each other again on the next coffee chat in February. Bye.